Hello everyone, welcome to Organic Chemistry 1 Lab Experiment 1. In Part A, we will purify phthalic acid with hot filtration and crystallization. This is impure phthalic acid. Now I will transfer it into this 50 ml Erlenmeyer flask. I made this funnel with a piece of wing paper. In this case, your chemical will never be stuck on the neck of your flask. This is 15 ml of distilled water. We also need some boiling stones. In this video, don't worry about any mass numbers or volume numbers because you will receive an email with all the data needed for post-lab 1. This is how the setup looks like. This is the Erlenmeyer flask I handled just now. In this big beaker, there is a glass funnel, a 50 ml beaker, and water. The funnel is used for filtration and the beaker is the collector. We want to heat the glassware of filtration because if the temperature decreases too fast, we will lose a lot of product during the filtration. Now let's start heating. The power level I'm using is 3.5. While we're waiting, we want to get the filter paper ready. First, I will fold it along the diameter. Then fold it again along the radius. Open it like this. Now it's ready for the funnel. Now it's time to perform hot filtration. Please be aware that we need to do it as quickly as possible. At the beginning of filtration, I will add some hot water onto the filter paper. so it's sticky to the funnel. We will wait until it's cooled to room temperature. When cooling it in an ice bath, you want to scratch the inner wall of your beaker. This helps generate more crystals. The liquid in this test tube is distilled water. We need some ice-cold distilled water for suction filtration. Now it's time to perform suction filtration with the Buckner funnel. Make sure you have a piece of filter paper inside, and you have the adapter here. Turn the pump. First, let's add some ice-cold water onto the filter paper, so it's sticky to the funnel. And at the beginning, I'm transferring the material with a stirring rod. After you have transferred about half of your material, you can simply pour it. I'm using some ice cold water to help transfer the material. Minimize the amount of ice cold water. Can you guys see white crystals in the funnel? This is how our final product looks like. The next step is to figure out how much the mass is. Specifically, I will weigh this empty wash glass, transfer our final product onto this wash glass and weigh it again to figure out the mass. Since this is very simple, I won't show it in this video. Now I will show you guys how to make samples for melting point measurements. For each sample, you need a capillary tube like this. One end is open and the other end is closed. The first step is to poke your sample with the open end, so some chemical can get into your capillary tube. This much is enough. The next step is to drop your capillary tube onto your bench through this plastic sleeve. You want to do it 3 or 4 times. I did 4 times. Now we can see that the chemical is on the bottom of our capillary tube, so the sample is ready. This is a melting point apparatus. Turn on the power, the light will be on. The slot on top is for your thermometer. Here we can see 3 rectangle holes. They are slots for capillary tubes. You can put your sample into any one of them. If you want, you can have 3 samples here simultaneously. Let me put 1 capillary tube into the middle slot, so you guys will understand which rectangle holes I'm talking about. Now there is a capillary tube in the middle one, and the other 2 slots are empty. The circle here is a magnifier used to observe your sample. When recording a melting point, you always record a range instead of a single number. The range consists of 2 numbers. The first number is the temperature at which your sample starts to melt, and the second number is the temperature at which your sample becomes liquid. To heat your sample, you need to set your power level here. The power level number depends on the melting point of your sample. In the procedure of experiment 1, you can find this chart. This chart helps you determine which power level you should use.